Hello, Leos. Thank you for visiting my channel. My name is Emily Gear. I'm a transformative energy healer and also a multidimensional channel. I am here with your reading for this week, which happens to also be an eclipse week, a total solar eclipse on July 2nd, which happens to be today. But it doesn't matter when you're watching this. If you found this video, then the messages may be relevant to you. So we're going to look into the general energies. And since it is an eclipse week, I am tuning it to the energies coming in for you with the eclipse, okay? If this does not resonate, be sure to check out your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs to get a more complete reading. And I will also be diving directly into romantic relationships in the extended read on Vimeo. So the link to that will be in the description box below, okay? So I'm shuffling for you guys just to see what's going to come up for this week, please, for Leo. The energies of the eclipse for Leo, please. Well, none of these cards are popping. What wants to come out for Leo this week, please? Whatever wants to come out for Leo, please. Okay, here's some cards. All right, we have the Chariot with the Five of Wands to begin with here. All right, so I'm hearing that I'm just hearing the phrase "at great difficulty." So it could be that you're working on moving on from something that maybe it doesn't feel exactly easy to step away from or move on from. However, I do feel like. I also feel, though, that you're like sort of, I'm hearing the word trailblazing. You may be trailblazing toward something else, which is really closely linked to your life purpose, soul path, whatever that might be for you. If this is work related, you might be almost competing with other co-workers for a position or for some sort of account or something, okay? But I feel like you're really standing tall above the rest, kind of the way that the charioteer is above the horses, and that you are kind of the clear leader of the pack in this instance. I do feel like this Five of Wands came out for you last week as well. It came out in a situation where I kind of read it as toxic masculinity. And so this idea of competition came up for you last week, and actually it came out in the Cancer reading as well. So I do feel like there's some aspect of competing that we really need to look at, that sort of, again, it's the more toxic end of the masculine scale. Sometimes competition is inevitable, okay? And so this is not to say that you're in a bad place or doing the wrong thing, but you do want to make sure that it's not that cutthroat sort of winner takes all, dog eat dog kind of energy, because that is actually creating, they're saying, negative karma for you if that is the kind of energy that you're in. I'm also hearing that it's the energy of oneness, the unity consciousness, which will assist you in sort of reining in any kind of competitive energy to a more healthy, playful. They want you to focus on the playful. I do feel like you might have been stuck in that mentality or stuck in some kind of mental blockage recently. We have the Eight of Swords with the Princess of Pentacles coming out. And it's like the resetting of that idea of what it means to be competitive is going to create an opening for you. They're saying it's an opening for you to escape this mental prison, this mental construct that you have going on up here. What else? Okay. All right, don't get upset with me. I feel like I think I got a couple unlikes on my Leo reading last week, and that is really unusual. Like, I just don't get a lot of unlikes because most of you guys know me and are pretty awesome and just, you know, are accepting of whatever wants to come out that day. Well, a couple people didn't like what I had to say, and that might be the case this week. So what I'm feeling here is that, you know, there may be an issue of self-worth with this Queen of Wands coming up here. There might be an issue of feeling disempowered in some way, and that's why this competitive energy has come out as it has. Or why you have felt somehow mentally restricted and unable to take steps forward in some sense. There's this reset that's happening, though, is kind of what I want to get across to you. So I don't want to dwell on the negative necessarily. Things are kind of restarting for you, but you are going to have to kind of open up your mind and see some other perspectives in whatever situation you're in. Just because you're sort of head and shoulders above the rest doesn't make you better than them, okay? And I say that as a Venus in Leo. Actually, as I say that out loud, that really hits home for me personally. So just because you're head and shoulders above them, over them, maybe in like ranking, or maybe, you know, your energetic vibration is clearly on a different level, or any of those things, right? Doesn't make you better, just makes you different. And it's important to see that, because when we focus on needing to feel better than somebody else, it's often because we don't feel good enough ourselves. It is often a hidden pattern within us, so we don't even realize that we feel that way about ourselves. And that's that mental restriction. It's like having a hard time breaking out of that way of thinking or feeling, okay? Let's see what else wants to come up. This is going to affect your relationships. So not only could it potentially be affecting your work life, but I just heard that this is very important in relationships, that you might actually be pushing people away. And that it's not that you're necessarily physically or even verbally playing out this belief, but it's coming out in your energy, okay? And this is not for everyone. This is just for some people. And I hear you saying to yourself, why does this never work? Why am I stuck? What is this stuck energy? And this is that stuck energy, okay? It really boils down to the way that you value yourself, okay? And everything else sort of emanates from that, or is a reflection of that. What else wants to come out for Leo, please? For the week of the eclipse. Oh, it just flipped. A whole bunch of stuff just flipped. We're just going to take it all. Okay. I have the Emperor with the Nine of Cups, the Prince of Pentacles, the King of Swords. I apologize if you hear thunder in the background. It's about to storm here. And also, I apologize if you hear like a wiener dog start to shriek, because he literally hates thunder. The Fool, the Ace of Pentacles. I know I said there was a million cards here. And the Empress. So what I'm feeling here is actually a similar message to, I think, maybe Gemini. And that is that it's almost like you I'm feeling this desire in the heart space, this desire to have control over how you're manifesting your dreams, okay? I feel like for you, you might feel like you're not doing it right, or something's not working, something's blocked, and there is a blockage here, okay? We just talked about that. But the reality is that you're never anywhere that you're not supposed to be. And so this feeling of blockage is an important passage for you into the next phase of your life. And it served to slow you down, because otherwise you'd be rushing into this really important new beginning, and you might not have been ready for it, okay? Like with this this King of Swords here, I feel like there's this recognition or this need to balance certain things in your life, including karma, especially karma. And so there's some kind of karmic thing here involving self-worth and involving the need to see oneself as part of the whole, as part of oneness, right? As opposed to the individual who fails or succeeds, okay? And that applies also to this Nine of Cups energy of what is it that you want in your life? What is this wish fulfillment that you're trying to create in your life? And it's almost like with the Emperor here, it almost is this forced initiative, this forced initiatory energy. The Emperor is often Aries, so you could be dealing with an Aries, or you could just be more likely holding that Aries energy of that like direct, forceful, initiatory energy, okay? And that's the energy that we need to kind of slow down for a second, because there's something else there's this thing that needs to be cleared, or something else, okay? Once you do that, though, you've got this Fool with the Ace of Pentacles and the Empress. And I feel like this clears the way for you to start really... The Empress has played very prominently in most of the readings I've done recently, and I just really feel like there is this critical rise of the divine feminine within each one of us that is necessary now to get this new beginning and to seed the growth, its fertility that is needed to seed this growth, and to allow it to actually grow and not just die on the vine, right? That's what we're missing. We're missing this flow of vital nutrients to this new beginning, this new start, the seeded whatever, whether this is a relationship, a job, a mission, a home, a family situation. It could literally be anything, because this is a general reading. I get the feeling of a lot of joy surrounding this new beginning, though. And so this is definitely something that's wanted in a way that you might want it so bad that you're really pushing hard. And in pushing so hard, the universe puts on the brakes, right? It's almost like... Somebody else said this to me the other day, because again, as I mention all the time, I do martial arts, and there's this thing in martial arts where instead of pushing against your opponent so much, you use his own strength against him, right? You allow him to push, and then you use that in order to, take him over or whatever. You use that in order to achieve your goal. And so it's almost like you need to stop pushing so hard to allow things to flow forward. And that gives you, that creates this, just looking at the Fool, I almost want to say wish fulfillment, although this card doesn't really mean that. But there's this energy of like carnival or something coming up here, with this energy of this like fertile new beginning in creation and like depth as I look at the Empress. I think some of you are going to start looking at life in a brand new way, like just a whole new paradigm, which makes sense. You know, this is an eclipse. It's all about, you know, it's a solar eclipse. It's all about like the doorway that we walk through in order to start creating anew, which is, you know, what these cards are all about. Let me get a little more information here. Just checking our time. Okay. We've got the Hermit with the Princess of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. So this feels like inner child work to me. There's something in the inner child, something about how you were raised, or how the kids at school treated you, or how it's that inner voice. That inner voice. Whose voice is that inner voice? Is it the voice of that inner critic? Whose voice is it? Is it the voice of your mother or father? Is it the voice of a teacher? It's usually the mother or father. And it's that critical voice which has the inner child pouting. Look at her face. Okay. And it's going inward to do that work in this situation. I think that is going to help you. And it really is about accepting yourself as you are in this moment. And understanding that that inner child is also you. And so meshing, allowing the whole thing to integrate, creates a kind of stability and structure that you may not have had in the past. And this is why there is this Eight of Swords mental restriction, sort of imprisonment, because you've got these different compartmentalized sections in your mind and in your spirit. That's why they're at war with each other internally. And it might not be that you even are so consciously aware of it. It's just, it's surfacing for a lot of you as this feeling of frustration or just sickness, sick feeling. Could be literal body sickness, but I'm feeling it more like energetic or emotional feeling of illness. And that's how it is manifesting. So in order to remove that, it's necessary to really integrate all the pieces, including that inner child, especially that inner child right now, because of this stuff that's coming up. So that all of the pieces are parts of the whole, and you are part of the whole, right? Unity consciousness, not separation consciousness, not competition, but part of the whole, okay? So that is what's coming up for you guys this week. I'm going to continue this in the extended. We're going to look directly into romantic relationships. So if that interests you, please follow the link in the description box, and I will see you on Vimeo. And if not, then I hope to see you next week. If you decide that you would like to do a private session with me, either for energy healing, which is what I really do, or readings, and actually I mix the two together most often, you can schedule that on my website, which is IamEmilyGear.com. You can also contact me that way if you have questions, okay? Talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.